Picture, a group picture where I didn't look for myself in the picture. And you'd think that by now you know what you look like, but this is how we're designed. We're always trying to see where are we in the picture, even though you know what you look like. And the same is true with a lot of the material that resonates the most with the people I've trained for years, is that we still are interested in finding ourselves in the picture. And so we really rushed through an elegant meal last week and just raced through it, which is, to me, like a great revelation or a great body of teaching. Is like a gourmet experience. I hate to rush through in 10 minutes. We're having 10-minute gold medal meals here, folks. That's all we can do. I can't help it because we got a limited time period. So we got to dive in right now. Carl, we talked about the 4 drivers of behavior, because in managing your state, you've got to realize that you're prepackaged with certain wants.
Right.
And if you have a need for connection and you're not getting attention, then your focus, your self-talk, you're looking sulky. You're saying to yourself, he doesn't care about me. She doesn't have time for me. And your focus is on what you're not getting. All this stuff connects, people. What we're talking about all connects. But then we talked about, well, how do you sanctify these drivers? We all have them. Every human being has a combination of these driving them, and you sanctify it by 2 characteristics.
The 2 being growth and contribution.
The commitment to personal growth, the commitment to pay the price to manage my drives so that I'm able to show up as a gold medal performer. And that might mean bringing out the best in others. Dial down the significance need. Dial up connection. So you start learning the language of other people. Imagine this. Don't you think rapport with people is really, in a sense, a match of these needs? If you got 2 people that have connection needs, they naturally have rapport. You got 2 people with significance needs, if they make each other feel significant.
Right. That's a big key factor there.
Yeah, instead of competing for the spotlight. 2 people with certainty needs.
You got an accounting firm.
You got an accounting firm, right? Or a lobbyist working there or something.
Yikes.
So, yeah. But here's the part that we didn't cover last week, which is why I don't want to let it go too quickly.
Right.
Whenever you have a habit, a life-forming habit, whether good or bad, jogging or smoking, gossiping or studying, it's because these 4 needs are being met. Whenever 4 needs are met intensely, it forms an addiction.
I agree. Would you mind providing an example, though, for our friends?
Surely. I was a failure as a student. Hard for people to believe. I got 2 brothers that are professors, both university professors. My family seems to manufacture teachers. And as professors, they were academically superior to me. I excelled in theater. And so my dad he thought that I might not ever graduate from high school, let alone college. So he put me in a military school in order to give me discipline. I'm saying that for this reason. What were you asking me? What was the question?
For an example on how this could form an addiction.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Significance need running wild here,
I know,
folks.
I got carried away with my own story. So here's the situation. I was the least likely to have a library. Anytime you've ever seen me in my other settings, you're going to see books, books, books. Why? Because when I became a Christian, I went into a guy's room and I saw he had these books lined up. And I got an image of something. He was reading these Christian books, and I can't tell you why, but I felt like I'd like to do that. And so I started reading Christian books, little short books, but I kept them. And the more that I accumulated, it's like baseball cards, the more I built a library that was saying to me, you're not dumb, you're not stupid. In fact, I found that I became more significant the more knowledgeable I was. And I had a certainty that with every book I was going to learn something new. And I had a connection with the ideas that were in the books. And I had uncertainty because every book was different. And so all those needs were getting met. I formed an addiction to learning. And that habit paid off in spades because I found that I could study any subject and develop an enjoyment reading. Reading became an addiction because all 4 needs were met. And it paid me off very well in life because I went from being a dropout to being a degreed student, somebody that actually has a master's degree. So I think that these can be positive and negative. If you're a gang member, you can get your certainty and significance need met by beating up on people and being important in your little hierarchy, in your tribe of gang members. So there's healthy ways and unhealthy ways. But the fact that their addictions are formed means that you need to be aware that a lot of habits you've got are formed by the needs that are being met. So it just goes to another subject real quickly here. What would be the best way of breaking an unhealthy addiction where it comes to these needs being met? What would you recommend? Wow.
Whew. Well, one thing I would like to say, and I can't remember who coined this idea, but we are not elevated to the level of our goals. We fall to the level of our habits. So when it comes to habit formation, it's important to have little cues, little things that we know are going to trigger this routine, and then also what the reward is going to be as a consequence of actioning or executing that routine. So when it comes to breaking habits, the first thing I would recommend is recognize what your cues are. What is the cue that's triggering this routine? And then secondarily, how can you possibly replicate or get a different reward from a different routine or from a different cue? So those are some just initial ideas on how to break that. And one of the best ways also to go through that is to have that certainty met. The certainty of knowing what that cue is, of knowing what that reward is. And then maybe providing a new uncertain routine. So
a cue would be, what are you talking about, a trigger?
Yes, exactly, a trigger. So a cue, for instance, when I get home from work, when I first walk in, I walk into my living room and boom, there's a TV. So I am triggered or cued to like, okay, work time is over, I can relax now. But on the contrary, if I walk in and there are my tennis shoes or my jogging shoes, it goes, okay, work's not over yet. You know, I don't get to just go right to TV. I don't get to right to relax. I have this new trigger, this new cue that's going to trigger a new routine that's hopefully healthier, hopefully.
I love that. This, my friends, little device, your cell phone, is a trigger mechanism. And for many people, they see it and right away they go to social media, they go to texting, they go to news, they go to whatever. And it's not because, I love what you said, it's not because it's going to elevate you to the level of a goal you have. It's because it's going to force you by addiction to the level of a habit you've got, which is to waste time in other people's agenda for your life.
Yep.
Not the agenda that you have for your life. All right, so to take charge, some of you that say, oh, I don't know if I could ever do this, you need a warrior mindset. Let's talk about instilling new programs into believers because you've got the ultimate warrior in you. The Lord is a man of war, the Bible says. When Jesus returns, he's coming with the armies of heaven. We got too many mixed metaphors here about what Jesus is like. He's not the pacifist you think he is. He is a warrior who was bent on a mission to destroy Satan and came to earth to do it. So you've got a warrior in you, and you have to kind of like learn to discover the roar that is on the inside. What are the characteristics of a warrior? We've got them here on page 10 in the manual. Have I got the manual?
You got the manual.
Oh my gosh, well.
Well, according to the manual that we have here, the warrior state of empowerment is unstoppable. They are invincible. They are courageous. They are bold. And they are the ones who break through. That's the warrior mindset. That's the warrior temperament. That's the warrior archetype.
So to take our teaching together here, if you're a warrior, you would want to focus on those attributes that you need to bring forth. You'd have to talk to yourself. You might even have to have different confessions and affirmations as to who you are. And then you might want to do, like we said last week, you might want to put on the physiology of somebody. It's like you see the sports huddles in a football game. Woo, woo, woo. They're all billing the testosterone. They're creating this tribal strength to go out and play on the field. Well, I'm saying you've got that on the inside of you. You've got a warrior in you. Every mother has that warrior. You let that nice, sweet little lady see a dog get into her backyard, a Rottweiler that gets loose from someone's backyard, comes in where you've got your children out there. Suddenly, mama becomes a mama bear. I got this TikTok I saw of this bear that gets up on a fence, and the child's out there in the swing set, and the mother she doesn't just rescue the kid, she goes up and pushes the bear off the fence and then picks up the child and runs in with him.
Not exactly practicing the lover mindset.
No, okay, so lover's the other part.
Right.
So the lover mindset, let me have my gold medal. You guys want to get a hold of this. We'll talk to you about at the end of this broadcast, how you can get access to gold medal performance.
It's a gold medal performance primer. You know, it has all of the tidbits and little bits of technology that you need in order to operate at a gold medal performance. It's amazing.
Yeah, because the way you show up is the way life shows up for you. The lover is that part of us that can touch other people's hearts. It's empathy, it's compassion, it's kindness. It's the capacity to communicate care. And what's important about this is that we're called as Christians to put on Christ. You don't feel that kindness or empathy or love for someone else until you reframe how you look at them. And this is worth another subject we won't be able to go into now. But in a world where we have such division, such hostility between ideologies, where Satan is doing a job of turning tribe against tribe, what is the way that Jesus sees people, including his political adversaries? How did he look at Pilate, who had the power to crucify him and who would make a bad judgment that day? How did he look at Herod? How did he look at the Sadducees and the Pharisees? And how did he look at Simon the Zealot, who was an assassin? The way you look at people is to a great extent affected by whether or not you're identifying with the lover anointing or the lover ability you've got on the inside of you. This is worth talking about, folks, because you have a warrior within you, you have a lover within you, and you can bring the lover and the warrior together to rule in your circumstance. And that's part of what I believe is the key of managing your state, is recognizing who you need to be in this moment that you've never been, who you have to show up now, and you have the resource within you. It takes self-control. It takes experimentation and practice, but you have that ability within you. The takeaway we have today is to recognize that your drives form your addictions and that you can develop new addictions. And part of that might be bringing the lover and the warrior to the surface on the inside of you to change the way you show up. We'll talk about that again in another gold medal moment. I did a study of gold medal performance once, and that was the attributes of peak performers in a variety of professions. And I wanted to find a connection to the Bible, and boy, did I find it. I found this whole world around this world convergence, and I put it together in a series which was really called Gold Medal Performance. But then I did a Bible study, which was kind of a synopsis of a lot of the training, and I put it together for you as a free gift. And this was done for my students at that time, people I wanted to really reach out to. You want to get the Gold Medal Performance Bible Study material, all you got to do is go to lancewallnau.com/gold study. That's lancewallnau.com/gold study. Trust me, this is the distillation of about a decade of observation and meditation on characteristics of peak performance and supernatural instruction in the Bible about how to arrive at convergence in your own life. You don't want to miss it. It's just the best stuff I've got out there.